11 p.m. you curled up on the couch under a blanket, binge watching Netflix. Your dog is sleeping on its back in its bed, just a few steps away, even snoring softly. You feel a sudden thirst, so you carefully lift the blanket, tiptoe, and try to make as little noise as possible as you head to the kitchen to pour yourself a glass of water. But the moment your heels leave the carpet, tap, tap, tap. That's the sound of nails tapping on the hardwood floor. Standing in the pitch-black kitchen, you turn around to find it sitting right there. Eyes half open, ears twitching like two tiny radar antennas, doing nothing but watching you pour water. Most people assume this is just a poor little creature that's extremely clingy, lacks independence, or is filled with anxiety. In reality, what's actually happening completely defies your intuition. Once the scientific community truly unravels the mystery behind this behavior, that little furball trailing behind you in the middle of the night will take on a whole new meaning in your eyes. Today, we'll reveal the 5 deep psychological reasons why your dog follows you around like a shadow. And point number 4, will absolutely turn your understanding of this relationship upside down. Whenever your dog follows you like Siamese twins, from the bedroom to the bathroom, and then from the bathroom to the balcony, we can't help but project human emotions onto them. We think it must be afraid of being alone. What's actually happening is that they aren't seeking a safe haven from fear. They're recharging. In the field of behavioral science, we must abandon the pejorative term clingy. To prove this to you, we need to look at what's actually happening inside a dog's brain. The Center for Neuroeconomics at Emory University in the US conducted a groundbreaking study that was nothing short of groundbreaking. Neuroscientist Gregory Burns and his team spent months using extremely gentle positive reinforcement training to teach dozens of dogs to remain completely still inside an fMRI scanner. No anesthesia, no restraints. It was all voluntary on the dog's part. The researchers wanted to know what an owner truly means deep in a dog's subconscious. They exposed the dogs inside the scanner to a variety of scents: familiar dogs, unfamiliar humans, and their owner's scent. The results were mind-blowing. When the owner's scent wafted past the dog's nose, the caudate nucleus in the dog's brain, the brain's reward and pleasure center, didn't just light up, it erupted like New Year's fireworks. No other scent triggers such a dramatic neurobiological response. Not even the most delicious food or their favorite doggy playmates can do it. This means that when your dog walks into the room you're in and curls up at your feet, its nervous system is experiencing a dopamine, an oxytocin frenzy. You are its biological cheat code. Imagine your phone. When it's out of Wi-Fi range, it still works, but it frantically searches for a signal, drains its battery, and runs slowly. But when it reconnects to your home's full-strength 5G network, everything becomes incredibly smooth. Your dog follows you not because it would break down without you, but because, as long as you're within its line of sight, its entire nervous system instantly switches to the most efficient, most confident, full power mode. It feels that as long as you're within a few feet, it can do anything in this complex world. If you closely observe how a dog follows you, you'll notice a deeply meaningful detail. It doesn't follow right behind you with its eyes closed. Whenever there's even the slightest change in the environment, like a sharp car horn outside the window, unfamiliar footsteps in the hallway, or you suddenly gasping in surprise, its first reaction is absolutely not to rush over to investigate, nor is it to run away immediately. Its first reaction is to turn and look at your face. Why is that? Because in its world, you are an incredibly sophisticated environmental hazard assessment device. A team of animal behaviorists at the University of Lincoln in the UK has uncovered the astonishing truth behind this canine behavior in a landmark study. Researchers tracked the eye movements of dogs as they observed various objects. They discovered a phenomenon that almost defies cross-species conventions. When dogs look at a human face, their gaze instinctively and extremely rapidly shifts to the left, locking onto the left side of the human face. In the scientific community, this is known as the left gaze bias. Before humans discovered this secret, we had always believed that only humans possess this ability. Why the left side of the face? Because the right hemisphere of the human brain is responsible for processing emotions, and the right hemisphere controls the left side of the face. Therefore, micro-expressions on the left side of a human face reveal our inner fears, anger, or joy more authentically and rapidly than those on the right side. Veterinary behaviorists at Lincoln University have confirmed that over the course of evolution, dogs have somehow hacked into the human biological system, mastering the code to read our subconscious emotions. When your dog insists on staying in the same room as you, it is actually maintaining a constant intelligence link. It's like a submarine navigating the deep sea. The outside world is filled with unknown currents, hidden reefs, and unfathomable darkness. Your face is the sonar display on that submarine. It must stay in a position where it can look up and see your face at any moment, so that within even 0.1 seconds of an emergency, it can determine whether the situation calls for all clear or full alert by reading the slightest contraction of the muscles on your left cheek. It isn't spying on you, it's using you, this ultimate intelligence hub, to anchor its understanding of the entire world. In households with multiple people, you'll notice a fascinating phenomenon. Dogs typically subject one specific family member to the highest level of shadowing surveillance. Many people romanticize this by saying, it's because the dog loves that person the most. Or some might complain, I'm the one who feeds it every day, so why does it always follow that person who just sits at the computer typing away? The truth might make you think of dogs as cool-headed pragmatists, but this is precisely a manifestation of their extraordinary intelligence. Your dog is a furry, cosmic-level probability calculator, processing massive amounts of data every second. In a dog's eyes, your behavior isn't random movement. It's a data point with strong predictive value. It silently records a massive algorithm in its mind, whose footsteps toward the door are most likely to lead to a walk, whose gesture of picking up a coat is most likely to mean someone is leaving, whose act of getting up from the couch and heading to the kitchen is most likely to be accompanied by a piece of cheese. When you move around the house, your dog isn't blindly following your physical form. It's tracking the source of wonderful things that are highly likely to happen. It's like a professional Wall Street trader, eyes fixed on the stock symbols with the most potential. You are the super blue chip stock in its life, one that's always rising and always full of surprises. Every time you move to a different room in its computational system, it means a reset of the environment, meaning new opportunities for interaction, new scents to explore, or a new, wonderful moment to lie down together. If your dog follows you around like a shadow, you should feel incredibly proud, because in its sophisticated brain algorithm, you are the only variable in this mundane daily environment capable of making miracles happen. If you're reading this and silently nodding in agreement, beginning to realize that your dog isn't some helpless creature in need of rescue, but rather a highly intelligent, emotional detective and master of probability, please take a second to subscribe and give this a like. We've gathered a community of owners who refuse to treat dogs as toys and instead truly respect their biological essence. Join us and continue to understand them. What we're about to discuss will completely overturn your fundamental understanding of dogs' clingy behavior. This is also a scientific truth. I hope every owner who finds their dog's constant following a bit annoying will deeply imprint in their mind. Many people believe that dogs always follow people because we've artificially turned them into giant babies. They think it's because we give them too many treats or held them too much when they were puppies. That's completely wrong. Following you isn't a bad habit they've picked up later in life. Following you is the greatest survival code that has allowed their species to survive on this harsh planet. until today. To prove this, we need to turn our attention to the Canine Cognition Center at Duke University. Evolutionary anthropologist Dr. Brian Hare has conducted a series of comparative studies there that have stunned the entire biological community. Dr. Hare brought in humans' closest genetic relatives, chimpanzees. Chimpanzees possess remarkable intelligence. They can use tools and solve complex logical puzzles. Yet, in the face of an extremely simple test, chimpanzees were thoroughly outmatched by your dog. The test was extremely simple. 2 cups were placed upside down on a table, with food hidden under one of them. The human researcher did nothing but point a finger at the cup containing the food. The highly intelligent chimpanzees show no reaction to the human finger. They cannot comprehend this simple gesture. To them, the human finger is nothing more than a meaningless piece of flesh. However, even puppies just a few months old, or even untrained stray dogs, will rush without hesitation toward the indicated cup the moment they see the human finger. Brian Hale called this startling discovery survival of the friendliest. Over tens of thousands of years of evolution, the most aggressive and powerful individuals in wolf packs remained in the wilderness, ultimately facing the dire situation of shrinking habitats. Meanwhile, those individuals whose genes underwent a remarkable mutation, becoming intensely curious about humans and desperate to be near them, gained access to the scraps from human camps and the warmth of the fire. Your dog does not possess the speed of a cheetah, the size of an elephant, or the intelligence of a chimpanzee to solve complex physical problems. Its only evolutionary superpower, the ultimate weapon it relies on to survive on this planet, is the connection it forms with you. When it insists on lying 3 feet from your bathroom door, when it would rather give up its comfortable dog bed to squeeze into the narrow space between your legs on the couch, this is not a character flaw, nor is it simply being unreasonable. This is the result of tens of thousands of years of natural selection, a top priority command etched into its DNA. Stay close to humans, remain by their side, for only then does your life have meaning, and only then can you survive. It cannot help but follow you, just as you cannot control the beating of your own heart, because, in its genetic blueprint, losing sight of you is equivalent to losing the right to survive. I know that, upon hearing this, many responsible owners will feel a twinge of worry. If it's so dependent on being near me, does that mean it's mentally unhealthy? Isn't this the separation anxiety everyone talks about online? This is an extremely crucial distinction, because healthy shadow, like closeness, and pathological separation anxiety are 2 completely different neural circuits in a dog's nervous system. To help you grasp this immediately, please imagine an invisible elastic cord in your mind. When your dog is mentally healthy, this resilient elastic cord connects the 2 of you. As you move around the house, it follows you, the cord shortens, and you stay close together. However, if you close the bathroom door or leave for work, this elastic cord stretches. A healthy dog, after a brief check, will sigh, walk over to the doormat, or return to its bed, close its eyes, and start sleeping. Although it cannot see you directly, the bungee cord remains taut. It can sense your presence through its nervous system and feels safe. It chooses to follow you because that is its optimal solution. When following is not an option, it can quickly self-regulate and accept a suboptimal solution. However, for a dog truly suffering from clinical level separation anxiety, that mental elastic cord is snapped. The moment the door closes, it is not a temporary separation for them, but the complete destruction of their safe haven. Their nervous system instantly overloads. You'll see it panting heavily, drooling uncontrollably, frantically scratching at the door until its nails bleed, and even losing control of its bladder and bowels in extreme panic. More importantly, even if you've just stepped into the hallway to throw out the trash, a separation of merely 10 seconds, the pathological frenzy and unrelenting restlessness it exhibits upon seeing you again will linger for a long time. True, anxiety is an uncontrollable fear for survival, but Everyday following is a choice of companionship filled with trust. If your dog follows you almost every step of the way, but when you leave home and see through the monitor that it's just quietly chewing on a toy or sound asleep, please put your mind at ease. You don't need to see a vet, and you don't need to correct it. What you have is a dog with an extremely healthy psyche, the perfect dog who sees you as the center of the universe. So let's return to the scene at the beginning of this story. The next time you tiptoe toward the kitchen late at night so as not to wake your dog, only to inevitably trip over that furry shadow as you turn around, the one with its chin pressed against the top of your foot. Please don't sigh in resignation. Please crouch down and stroke that ear, the one that remains perked up even in its sleep at the sound of your footsteps. You must understand that in this world full of noise, indifference, and unpredictability, within that canine brain, weighing just a few dozen grams, it processes tens of thousands of neural signals every second, bridging the evolutionary chasm of tens of thousands of years and breaking through the immense barriers between species, all to arrive at a single conclusion. Wherever you are, that is where its world is. It isn't demanding your attention. It is offering you its very essence. It sees you as its radar, its charging station, its navigation tower, the center of its universe. This is not mere clinginess, born of insecurity. This is the most profound, unreserved praise that the scientific community, the natural world, and a living soul can bestow upon you.